They thought they were made
The
for
night
each
curtain
other.
dropped up in the city like a mystic spell of an enchantress, shrouding the districts and buildings in frost. A numbing cold that callously abraded the skin of any breathing creature who dared trudge the haunted streets of Hampshire at this hour, where the crestfallen trees, the seething wind, and the jaded clouds in the starless sky all chorus an unbearably appalling symphony, conducted by the moon, a sensuous beauty that coruscated amid the gloom. Her fierce passion was reflected in a young girl's astounded eyes. Her name was Carol. In a dimly lit room where the radio crooned one of her dearest songs, Carol shed her innermost thoughts and feelings into her diary's paper.
Dear Diary, today is a new day, just another day that is good to some and bad to others. Today is appealing to me. I don't want that bliss to recede from view. I want my dreams to disperse into reality. Bad can at times hit us with the news that we would never foresee, a reality that nothing could alter. Today, for example, the vintage radio struck the rock realm with Kurt Cobain's death. I can tell death is no good to his family and friends. Death has no smell or taste, but one can tell it's bitter and smothering, with no bit of sweetness. His music will live on, sure thing, and he will always be remembered for the spirit he brought about into the world. Today, I side with both the good and the bad. I'm torn between the edges. The music industry lost its glory, but I have been offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As we moved out of town that I enjoyed calling Graveyard, and we settled down in the village of Showtown, near Alton in Hampshire. Yet, I might be standing exactly where Jane Austen was long time ago. It's just too good to be true. I see art, I feel art, inhale art in every corner of this house. Every inch withholds a shred of art. But I haven't committed to my paper the immensity of my feelings in a while now. I don't think I can cope with that immensity anymore. Sometimes in life, the best thing we have left to do is act. Expect more from ourselves and less from life. This is something I learned from my father. My father is a great example of love and charity, a committed Christian who would trust the unknown blindly as it belongs to a known God. Strong in body, commitment, and spirit, forecasting all slightest gesture, he made our life complete. Everything we are now, we owe to my father. The latest decision he made on my behalf is more of a sacrifice. He literally exchanged our life for another. My family leaving our hometown for a new life elsewhere. This is a risk only a determined man as my father could take. Driven both by love and determination, I shall but confess that my parents love me and I want to be worthy of their love. I am acutely proud of us. Money changed our life, but failed to change us, besides our perception of life. Now that we managed to reach that financial stability, I realize that our definition of a wealthy life is and forever, well, hopefully, will be the same. We're wealthy as long as we have each other's backs, as long as we don't go out of our way to do the opposite of what we have strived for since the day we were born. Passion represents the startup founder of every profession I exercise. My sister Mary told me that I have had this passion since I was little. I never struggled waiting for that water to boil, or I even get lost in the details of how simple ingredients would turn into a feast for both the eyes and the tongue. But was that enough for me? Of course not. I want to change that passion into a career. Recently, I have been offered a once-in-a-lifetime job opportunity in Dinner in Paradise restaurant, which is the reason why we settle in Hampshire. Oh, it's almost 1 a.m. The clock is ticking and I'm one step closer to my dreams. I really can't tell what excites me more. Being close to my married sister, whom I miss intensely, or the job interview I have been passionately praying to get. The sun will soon rise, and I shall arise and chase life the way I always wanted. Dear diary, it's been prodigious talking to you, but only slumber can make time run faster, and I should be sleeping by now. Time to flee words and reconnect with dreams.
The door was leisurely pushed open then, blasting the bond that chained Carol's mind to her soul. Her fingers lost their tenuous grip on the pen as she curiously studied her mother's sudden excitements.
Carol, are you still up, sweetheart? Please tell me you still are. I have some exciting news, oh dear God.
Yes, Mom. Somebody sounds full of beans. What is it? Hurry up, though. You know I've got an important interview tomorrow.
This is precisely why I'm here. Budge up. You might want to sit up for this. You know how your daddy and I have decided to go to our anniversary dinner date last night? He had the fabulous idea of choosing one of the restaurants he wished to be working in. And oh my, what incredible opulence and elegance. I was utterly astonished. However, what truly captivated me was the owner, Mr. Harry Smith. Yes, Carol, we had the opportunity to meet him in person, and he happened to be the son of your father's old mate. Can you believe that?
Nascent hope perched up on her shoulder, and Carol vainly fought an amused grin that soon evanesced.
And? Did you tell him about me?
Of course we did. And guess what? He asked to see your photograph.
That's odd.
In fact, you won't be needing to go to the interview, Carol. You won't be needing to work at all. Mr. Harry Smith wants to propose to you.
Propose what?
Propose marriage.
Mother, are you out of your mind? This isn't the 17th century. I'm not marrying a stranger.
Listen to me, darling. I married your father out of love. But what did that get me? 26 years full of bitter misery and financial instability. You are my little daughter, a precious piece of my heart, and that is why you ought to accept it, I reckon. You will have maids and servants standing at your every desire like a princess. You will travel around the world and live a life of sheer convenience.
Mom, this is nonsense. You're absolutely insane.
How dare I fancy a bright future for my daughter? If that makes me a sexist tyrant, then so be it. I will not have you slaving around in some underpaid job all your life. Harry is a polite, exquisitely handsome, and insanely wealthy gentleman, and you will marry him, whether you want it or not, period.
I'd rather build my own future, Mother. I'd rather go through the worst ups and downs. I'd rather climb up that mountain on my own to reach that summit, to finally savor the magical taste of that breath of fresh air like it should be savored. I will not marry him.
We should be expecting him for tomorrow's lunch. Good night.
Carol fancied nothing but to be buried in the oblivion of sleep, but to escape the assailants of unusual reality. A reality that she deeply hoped to be a flagrant lie, or even a frightening nightmare. With a tear-stained face and a troubled frown, her consciousness ebbed, her mind fell, swirling with the beautiful chaos of a new dream. A candle's lambent flame stared at Carol's despondent features in the darkness of her room. Behind the candle stood a pale face, a couple of sublunary glistening orbs, and a confident smile. Clothed in a traditional colored dress, the lady was what is deemed gorgeously handsome.
Awaken, dearie. The night is young. Its wonders await you, shall you simply follow. The state under which this house fell. Your family, how are they? Not so fine, I presume. Only you can save them from the past forgotten ghosts. The question is, are you mature enough for such endeavor? I worry for you, dearie. I truly do.
I'm not really following you, Emma. Are they ill?
Not quite. Did you know there are people who, the more you do for them, the less they will do for themselves? Do you like music, dearie? I do very much, for without music, life would be a blank to me.
I do.
Delightful. Then music shall be your refuge, your salvation. Now, everything is ready for your trial. And do remember, dearie, You are the only judge of your happiness.
So, like a heavenly angel, Emma faded away, leaving nothing behind but the echo of her delightfully musical laughter. The sun gifted its radiant hues into Hampshire, hues everyone yearned for except for Carol. Forcibly she howled her half-hearted self from bed and plodded to the kitchen where her parents awaited her.
The marriage's date has already been settled, dear. We must get her to agree as soon as possible. The family's future depends on it.
Perhaps we should have told her. Perhaps if she knew.
Know about what, Mother?
It does not concern you, Carol. Go back to your room.
Since when am I not concerned with family issues? Tell me what's wrong.
I said it does not concern you. What you need to worry about is the dress you'll wear when our guest arrives. Do I make myself clear?
No, you don't, Father. I will not wear a silly dress, nor will I talk to this man unless you tell me what's wrong.
Going bankrupt.
What? Since when? I thought Father's business was doing better.
All you need to know is that the future of this family relies on you now.
What? I don't understand anything anymore. Why aren't you telling me, Father? I thought we were all in this together.
Go to your room, young lady.
Dear Diary, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I secretly want to tear the first page apart, the way people are quartering my dreams. Everyone in the house acts weird. I'm afraid. I'm afraid they now believe in the things they once denied fanatically. I don't feel anything. I feel cursed. Whenever I take a step forward, there is something pulling me backward. The only difference is that today I know exactly what that thing is. And it's making me even more miserable knowing that my parents no longer believe in me as a chef. I feel down in the dumps. I'm supposed to share with you the very first breakfast I had with my family under this roof. But it's falling on my head, crushing me down. Things really seem alarming. Apart from this, there's something I would like to tell you about. Simply for the reason that I don't have anyone else as a buttress but you. It seems to me, the way it always did, that you, my dear paper, is vibrant, living, and supportive, no matter what. Yesterday, as I invaded Slumberland, I met someone that in that finite death made me feel most alive. I bet her name was Emma, a name derived from the Germanic word Erman, meaning universal, a name that communicates cosmopolitanism and empathy. I'm lost in that slight juncture separating reality and dreams. It felt so real, so appealing that I want it back. It's still here. I hear your voice. I know you're there somewhere. Silence echoes of despair. Silence is disturbed by you, Emma. And the way you take me up to seventh sky is what I crave for. I feel you, but I can't see you. I hate you, but I wish I could depict you. They taught me that marriage is made up of two people that, above anything else, love each other ardently, infinitely, and powerfully. But things took an ugly turn. Today they're forcing me to get married. Solace is only found in dreams. But I feel like something is missing in the puzzle. What was it, that thing Emma wanted me to find? Are the voices in my head real? And why my parents are the way they are? The questions that the next pages must solve, sadly.
At the heart of her bitter despair, Carol was drowning, smothered by her family's threatening words that once tasted of soothing warmth and love seeds, but now they tasted of poisonous thorns and a devil's curse, remorselessly withering. A temple of a familiar voice, then, very familiar, called for her name from a distance. She pursued it. It did not sound real nor imaginary. It sounded like a desperately needed distraction. She stumbled down on a secret sash carefully hidden under a rug, and that is where she met her best companions for the next months. There she strangely found the original novels of Jane Austen herself. One was of a delicate complexion, regular feature, and a pretty face. The other one was graciously alluring and enchanting. Two women appeared in front of our dear Carol, and once again the peculiar appearances, old-fashioned as they seemed, did not fail to bemuse her.
Dear me, Eleanor, where have you brought us this time? Curious place.
I like it. It beams with youthfulness.
Hi?
Oh, where are my manners? I am Eleanor Dashwood, and this is my sister Marianne. You must be Carol.
Now, Carol, why did you summon us? Fashion advice, I hope. That outfit of yours is simply dreadful.
I don't recall summoning anyone.
But of course you did, or else this would be very awkward. Let me see our schedule. Carol. Oh, here you are, Caroline Peterson. The house has possessed your sweet family. How dreadful. How utterly dreadful.
You expect me to believe this? They're just old school and greedy.
It is quite the dilemma, my darling. Yet, despite its nature, one must be rational to this situation. The man is rich, powerful, holds the key to your dreams. Why must you refuse such an offer?
For it's bloody insanity, that's why. One mustn't marry without love. How dare you inflict yourself upon this girl? Always resignation and acceptance, always prudence and honor and duty. Carol, oh sweet Carol, tell me, where is your heart? Find it, listen to its cry, and never let them fool you with these silly offers.
Wishful thinking. Caroline, your future relies upon sane, responsible decisions, not on this ridiculous lust for love.
Both of you, be quiet. I can't hear myself think.
We are not here to convince you, darling, simply to guide you. As your future depends on this decision, sadly, choose wisely, darling, your heart or your brain.
And thus, Carol chose her brain. She would marry this man whom she never even met.
Dear Diary, I can't fess up everything to my paper today as I usually do. Simply for the reason that what happens transcends both my ability to write and the logic that usually leads me there. The few words that literature has taught me fail to pass on the fascinating divination that enfolds my brain lately. I can finally read Kurt's words and relate to them. If my eyes could show my soul, everyone would cry when they saw me smile. Yet, the worst crime is faking it. Neither sense nor sensibility could mollify my entrails. As the series of dreams from another world that is so like ours but less horrific, a world in which I can speak up my mind. But in vain I rake over my dreams. I roam the cold night seeking a spark among the embers. I just love to build up my present in harmony with the irrevocable dreams, that I wander like a dejected shadow. Just a year ago, just at this time, at this hour, everything was different. Life was more peaceful. I had a family I could count on every unrest and consult in every pest. But I feel like I buried my best days somewhere in this house. I look around and all I can notice is the speed in which this cold world is growing. I'm terrified by life. I'm terrified to the point that my reality figures on my dreams now.
Accepting the marriage proposal was never of her intentions. Carol merely fancied a happy ending, such as those in romantic stories. She was aware of her adolescent naivety, but she could not help not to dream. Her eyes slowly closed, and the world crumbled around her. Her cramped closet in the corner turned into a Grecian statue. The windows and the curtains turned mullioned and embroidered. Carol was suddenly in a Victorian ball where the richest aristocrats and the nobles danced and gossiped in the fanciest gowns and costumes. In a moment, the two Dashwood sisters were in front of her.
Hello there.
I did what you said, Eleanor. My mother and father are as cold as ice. I cannot see my sister again. They forbid me from everything, and now I'm being sent off to a stranger. Your advice didn't work, Eleanor.
I suppose it's useless to say I told you so. Poor girl, you can always flee, run to some place new, and surrender your family to this house's curse.
No, it doesn't matter anymore. I said yes, and the wedding will soon take place. My life is just over.
Temporary distress, I say. Think of the flourishing future your children will have.
Be quiet, sister. You lead this poor girl to her demise. Let her grieve in peace now.
It is not demise, Marianne. After all, that is bewitching in the idea of a single attachment, of one's happiness depending entirely on a single person. It is impossible.
The spark Carol has been looking for among the embers erupted like a volcano in the midst of a bewitching dream. His hat seemed like the last cherry on a cake. He was absolutely not wearing the hat. The hat clothed itself on him. And whilst Marianne and Eleanor curved their moralistic howling, Carol, smitten by his radiant smile and his compelling humour, could only utter beautiful, commenting on the unearthly picture her eyes were projected on. Mr. Darcy was indeed quite beautiful. He was, in Carol's perspective, perfect, enticing even. And she bet that he was the dream husband for every girl, including her. The bells of Christmas make no sound compared to the way the bell rang that day. She rushed to the door with zero excitement and closed it on hope. Harry's gift was heavier, filled to its brim with emptiness. It lacked passion and fended off curiosity.
Dear Diary, these are the words that approach death and got rescued seconds before they perish. Similar to the smiles I give away to claim happiness. The same way I was taught to fake everything until it gently becomes real. I think it's just life being life. Maybe it was not made to shine. Maybe everything I touch dies. Maybe I'm truly cursed. The only thing I want to be offered is love. Something unconditional, charismatic, energetic, aesthetic, aerodynamic, astronomic, that is both ferric and terrific. Something so close to the guy who delivered the gifts. A guy with no label, no power, just him with his gallant musical tastes. And if people are prone to fall for moments, I fell for the moment our eyes met, and the way he grinned, perceiving my concealed smile, that was magically embarrassing. You know, my extreme inability to ever hide a single thing I felt. His eyes are scored in my memory, and his words echo in my head like a Nirvana song. And perhaps that was our Nirvana, a place undisturbed, a safety that shuts the world down, and we, the only stars that shine out of hope and love. He looks so like my dreams. My dreams are put in display. He was so like Mr. Darcy. His outstanding charisma is reflected in that moment, brief and timeless. Dear Diary, this wasn't just another day. It's a day that I shall recall. At every heartbeat, I will cast my way back to this day, whenever I get lost in this world's lunacy. I'm afraid I will never write anything down after this. I don't want my dreams to be dissipated. I so want to die to this. His memory is enough for me to face eternity.
The garden where Mr. Darcy, along with Carol, sauntered, enjoyed the pleasing scent of flowers and the darting birds and squirrels, was a fairly peaceful paradise, an ornate painting that only a proficient artist could create. Walking the aisles of a supermarket can feel like walking down the aisles. She found her last love buying her first love, food. She never knew love was exhibited in a supermarket. That was the moment she realized her hobby was now the thing she once abhorred. She would go to the grocery store multiple times in a day, persuaded he would be there. There is a reason she found solace in a place where money is a big kahuna. Her parents disapproved of who she chose to marry. Kurt was but a distant dream, but her dreams taught her that the juncture which separated them from reality would soon become transparent. The days have passed, but each day is the same, until the nights promote truth and uncover its sky's magical beauty, paving the way to marvels. Emma's match was always there, but lacked a flame. That flame turned out to be love. She crossed paths with the love of her life, and the match was lit hovering above the house, carried by passion, leading her to the book that alters the episodes of their story.
The beauty of dreams lies within us. All I ever wanted to do with my life is to become part of this magic, the power that goes far beyond the bedside. My happiness has been my parents' excuse for weeks now to force me to marry. And will I ever feel like a child again? I long for the day where I will no longer wish I could sleep and never wake up. I long for the day this race ends and my reality make it through the elusive refuge I created myself. My heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. I sleep and wake up bereft of life. They say change is the only constant, but the truth is, not every change brings about steadiness. We lost the things we once craved for, wanting better things, and then we lose both and we are just left there with nothing else but our free soul. My wishes seem so revolting, though purely molded. But still I am a child in my heart, not that impure in my feelings, but pure in my intentions, pure when it comes to love, impure when I have to fight for it, pure to the word remains impure to me. I wish for nothing but love. I want to feel loved again. I want my father to hug the pain away. I want my mother to see her reflection in my eyes again. I don't want much. I want people to understand me. And even if they don't, I want them to tolerate that difference. I don't want the world in my hands, but I want to find solace in its hands. I want to feel alive again. I want to feel free again. I think I just want Kurt to be wholly and disputedly to the hilt mine. Am I becoming a child again? I bet I am. Love has made me one. Dear Diary, today I can finally open my eyes, unabashed by reality. I have 3 daughters that I love more than anything in this sullen world. I used to put them to bed every night, watch them sleep peacefully, and as I tuck the covers around them, I lean to whisper, I love you, even in your dreams. You are perhaps dreaming of us now. I am too, but I do it distantly. I dream of you wide awake. I am living the dream. I am consciously writing for you. I wish they could feel the pride emanating from me as I think of all the accomplishments that day. I wish they knew how I brag about them. I wish most of all that I showed them the love I believe they deserve to be shown. Love is all I ever wanted them to feel. My sweet angels are thoughtful, empathetic, caring, and sensitive. I fell in love with their ability to show such qualities more than I ever could. That love is bursting forth in the innards of my soul. Not only do I love them, but I need them. They taught me how to be a better mother. They take me back to my childhood. My Kurt and I find excitement in the midst of the dreary ordinary of every day. I love how our living room is our Disneyland. My husband, I wish I could explain to myself what I had to hope from that man I didn't know when I met you. Oh, but you had some hidden power over you. A strange period began for me that day. Recalling our moments takes my breath away. I still think you are a beautiful delusion I created for myself. Probably to fight back the loneliness that was eating me alive. Because you literally are everything I've ever wanted and couldn't find anywhere else. I wish most of all that I showed them the love I believe they deserve to be shown. Love. Love is all I ever wanted them to feel. Honey, the words I'm writing down now are just the tears I could catch before they fall down and wrote them instead. I wish I could gather all of my tears and offer them to you, to drink them up and get drunk on our love. My family, I feel safe with you. I feel alive. I feel like I have been tied up to many things I thought were important. And even with the wrinkles on my face, I still feel stupid and young. I cannot proclaim my words to be wise, but they are honest. I'm honest with you. I admit that love is painful, but all the theories that suggest that it's bad and painful collapse when it's you who are inhabiting my mind and soul. I love you. It's but a simple way to express such tremendous feelings. I could write books and still fail to express what I feel for you. Let's say I'm a lost star, and you're my dark matter, a mystery that I will never solve. You keep me up, and you allow me to shine. My home has never been this planet. It has always been you. Life. What can I say about life? Life is made of heartaches. There is justice in suffering, and we must fulfill the demands of justice. But this is the compensation of love, because everything done out of love always outreaches both good and evil. Carol, the proud wife and mother.